Oh, it's certainly been a while. Before we begin, forgive me if you can hear the fan in the background. It's extremely hot in my room, and I need to turn the fan on, but I felt like I needed to record this while I had the opportunity. So, a couple of things. First and foremost, my last video, or I guess just to say last vlog sort of video, was in a pretty bad place. Pretty depressed. And in hindsight, probably should not have recorded in that state, but it's also pretty liberating to be able to just express, frustration and everything like that. Because it's not like I said anything that I didn't believe in that video. Like, I guess I'd feel worse if, I had a complete breakdown and, I said a bunch of things that weren't true, which is not how I usually am. So, that's good. But I do think a little bit of what I said needs context. So, the main way that I originally made money on YouTube, because obviously ad revenue sucks on YouTube and always has. Okay? Don't let anyone tell you, back in the old days, don't let anyone say, oh, ad revenue was so much better. No, it wasn't. It has always been terrible. It has gotten worse over the years, not better. But back in the day, YouTube used to allow me to sell videos on YouTube directly, which meant that I could make paid content on YouTube, and I never had a problem. If I wanted to make longer videos, if I wanted to make videos that were, how should we say, a little more erotic in nature, I could sell those on YouTube, and people would pay me to buy them. And then YouTube decided it was no longer interested in doing that. And that kind of created a major problem for me because, well, I'll just put it this way. The more steps that you have to go to get from A to B, the more steps that you need someone to take, the fewer people are going to take it. Okay? So, let's put it this way. If you imagine YouTube, how you found me on YouTube right here, is step one. And I want people to then travel from YouTube to some other site to buy my content. Whatever site that may be. Patreon or Clips for Sale or wherever. That takes more steps. And every step of the way, whether it be first you have to go to the website, then you have to learn how the website works, then you have to input your, credit card information. Every one of these steps, you lose some people. Okay? And so the more steps that there are, the fewer people end up at the end result. Which is how you end up with, in my situation, you have 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, which isn't that many. But that translates to 20, 30 people on Patreon. And again, I'm super thankful for all of them because, they pay for food for me. But my point that I'm making is that it is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction the amount of people who will go to other places from where you start out. And so that's why it made selling things on YouTube super nice, because no one had to go anywhere else. You could just do it directly on YouTube. And I bring all this up because YouTube recently instituted a program where you could support creators directly, like me, for example. And in fact, you're probably going to see a link under this video and all my future videos where you can basically just pay $5 if you want to support me a month. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do yet to repay you. I've never been good about that part of content creation. I've never really been good about figuring out how to repay people who support me. And because people who support me do me a huge favor. Okay? They make my life more livable. And they take a lot of stress off of me. So now you can do that. So now if you want, there's a link in the description here. I think you'll probably start seeing links in my page that you can just use if you want to pay me $5 a month to help support me. Again, entirely optional. I don't make people do that. I never really feel comfortable making people do it, and I probably should, just because, again, it seems a little weird to make your livelihood optional or to feel bad about charging people for the thing that allows you to eat food, but I always have. And that's probably not a great thing. Anyway, where was I going with this? Right, you can support me now. And if you want to, I'll probably figure out things that I can do for people so that they feel like they're getting more out of me. Because I want people to get more out of me. I want people to feel satisfied that they're supporting me. I don't want them to feel obligated. Though, again, it does help me out. And I'm extremely thankful for all of the people who do, in fact, support me and have supported me over the years. Especially because right now I'm really dealing with a lot. In fact, the last couple weeks, I have been in and out of the hospital a lot because of my mother again. Thanks, phone. Yeah, I've been in and out of the hospital a ton the last couple weeks because my mom's had multiple problems. And for those of you who are not aware of this, I spend a lot of time taking care of her and making sure that, she's healthy and, alive, which is a problem when, you can't exactly, work a normal job because you're too busy trying to, help keep her alive. And so once again, in and out of the hospital. She's fine. For the moment. Don't worry about that. You're all like, oh no, is she alive? Yes. But the point that I'm making is that last couple weeks have been very hectic, and that's why I haven't posted as many videos as I wanted to. And I've just been really stressed out for a lot of reasons. That's one of them. That's one of them. Being in and out of the hospital is always rough, and it's not very good for your psyche, and it's not very good for your health. Obviously we lost my grandmother last November, and we've been dealing with her estate and trying to sell off all of her apartment stuff and everything else because she didn't put it in a trust, which means we have to go deal with court things, and that's stressful. Speaking of which, if you have old people in your life, older people who possibly may be dying within the next 10 years, you should make sure you put everything in a trust so that when they die, you get everything immediately, and you don't have to execute a will or go to court and pay a lawyer. You can do all that in advance. You should do that. If you have older people in your life like I did, you should absolutely do that. Don't be like me. Don't be like my parents. Don't make the mistake that we did. Anyway, point is, it's been pretty stressful. And on top of being stressful, I just haven't really had time to be creative, and I haven't really had a lot of creative juices. And so that kind of makes me not happy and not able to make things on the level that I want to make things at. Because if nothing else, I'm a perfectionist. And, I do want money. I know that's probably sounds greedy of me, but I do kind of need to make a living, obviously. But also it's just I think part of my struggle is that I see how the routes forward, and none of them really appeal to me. I'm asexual, and I don't particularly feel comfortable going down this straight porn route. I don't really I've never really felt comfortable making a persona or making it about me. I kind of see myself as a seller of products, where I'm I sell files and you consume the files, and that, that's the extent of our personal relationship. And that impersonal relationship is a detriment in creation. It's no secret, online content creation is all about building a brand and all about selling things. And so that's kind of a detriment to me overall. But anyway, I guess I'm just kind of struggling at the moment to know where I want to go and know what I want to do, because I kind of feel I'm stuck, I suppose. And part of that just because I haven't been creating enough, but it often feels like it doesn't matter what I create, it all comes out roughly the same. I do want to look into like other opportunities, and I kind of want to look at other like forms of media. I've considered working with people, but that always felt to me like a bad idea. And I'll explain why in really shortly. So I'm smart enough to know that if you work for people and you pay them, you have to do a whole bunch of paperwork. And I don't really want to do paperwork. You know, you have to send them a model release form. You have to pay them a 1099. You have to do, you have to file the 1099 with the government. And it's like, it's just so much extra work and so much extra investment for something that I don't know would ever like mean anything, Like, I guess, like, again, I can see the path forward and I know how it would go, and I'm just like, oh man, that's so much extra work for like not a huge amount of gain, So I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling stuck, and I haven't really figured out how to get out of that yet. I'm hoping I'll manage to somehow get out of it in the near future. But for the moment, I'm just kind of stuck here. But yeah, so that's kind of like the only updates I really have. I've just been kind of busy dealing with medical problems, not my own. And yeah, I've just been dealing with that. And now you can support me on YouTube if you want. Now you can subscribe to my channel, I guess. And spend $5 if you want to give me $5 a month to help support me. Again, entirely optional. I don't want anyone to feel like they're obligated. I'll try to find things that can be given back to people. I'll try to find things that I can do so that people feel like they're getting more like bang for their buck, I guess, and they're not feeling like I'm ripping them off, because I don't want them to feel that way. But beyond that, that's really all there is. I know this is a bit of a short update, but I don't want to ramble more than I have to. So hopefully I'll get some more files out in the near future. One should be being released today, tomorrow, sometime, I want to say. So look forward to that. But yeah, thanks everybody for supporting me. Thanks everybody who's supported me in the past. Will support me in the future, hopefully. So yeah, thanks again, everybody.